Think winter is tough now? Try living through one without central heating, without weather apps, without Amazon delivering electric blankets in 2 days. Back in the golden age, the 40s, 50s, 60s, winter wasn't just a season, it was a survival challenge. And the habits people developed, today's generation would call them absolutely insane. But for folks back then, these weren't crazy ideas. They were just how you made it through to spring. Let's dive into 7 winter habits from the golden age that would blow your mind today. In the 1940s, people heated their beds using hot bricks. Yes, actual bricks. Here's how it worked. You'd take a brick, wrap it in newspaper or an old towel, heat it up in the oven or near the fireplace, and slide it under the covers at the foot of your bed about 30 minutes before bedtime. Before you think this sounds ridiculous, imagine this. It's January. The temperature outside has dropped below freezing. Your bedroom has no heating whatsoever. Frost is forming on the inside of the windows. Your breath creates little clouds in the air. That hot brick was a lifesaver. It radiated warmth for hours, turning your bed from an icebox into something actually bearable. Families would have multiple bricks going, one for each bed. Kids would fight over who got the warmest one. The tricky part was making sure that brick was wrapped properly. Nobody wanted burned sheets or burned feet, but once you got the technique down, it became part of the nightly routine. Heat the brick, wrap the brick, place the brick, sleep like a baby. Today, we've got electric blankets and smart thermostats. But back then, that humble hot brick was cutting-edge bedroom technology. In the golden age, when winter hit hard, people strapped metal ice cleats to the bottom of their shoes, not just for hiking. We're talking about wearing them for your daily commute, walking to the store, heading to church, basically everywhere. Sidewalks back then weren't salted and cleared the way they are today. If it snowed, the ice stayed, and black ice was everywhere. One wrong step and you'd be on your back wondering what happened. Ice cleats solved that problem instantly. These were simple metal spikes or grips that attached to your shoes with leather straps. They looked clunky, they sounded like tap dancing on steroids, but man, did they work. You felt invincible. Icy hill? No problem. Frozen sidewalk? Easy. Everyone else sliding around like cartoon characters while you walked with confidence. Kids loved them because they could play without fear. Adults loved them because broken hips weren't fun, and medical care was expensive. Today, we mostly just stay inside when it's icy and order delivery. But back then, life didn't stop for weather, so you adapted. In the golden age, central heating wasn't standard. Many homes had one heat source, a fireplace, a wood stove, or a coal furnace that might heat 1, maybe 2 rooms if you were lucky. So families made a choice. They picked one room, usually the living room or kitchen, and that became winter headquarters. Every family member would gather there. You'd eat there, do homework there, listen to the radio there, and basically live your entire life in that one heated space. The rest of the house? Forget it. Bedrooms turned into ice caves. Bathrooms were brutal. You'd sprint to the heated room the second you woke up, fully dressed in layers just to stop shivering. But here's the thing. That one warm room created something special. Families were forced together. There was no escaping to separate rooms. You sat together. You talked. You played board games by the fire. Kids did homework at the kitchen table while mom cooked and dad read the newspaper. Was it uncomfortable? Absolutely. Did it build character and force people to spend time together? You bet. Modern homes with heating in every room offer comfort, but they also offer isolation. Back then, winter brought families closer, literally. Fast fashion didn't exist in the golden age. When you bought a winter coat, you were making an investment that would last a decade, maybe longer. Some coats became family heirlooms. Why? Because quality winter coats were expensive, really expensive. A good wool coat could cost a significant chunk of someone's monthly salary. But that coat was built to last. Heavy wool, reinforced stitching, real buttons, proper lining. People took care of their coats like treasured possessions. You'd hang it up properly every single time. Brush off the snow before coming inside. Store it with mothballs during summer. Small tears got mended immediately. Missing buttons got replaced. Those coats developed character. They formed to your body. The wool softened in just the right places. That coat became part of your identity. People recognized you from a distance just by seeing your coat. Today, we buy a new coat every couple of years because the style changed or it's on sale. Back then, your winter coat was your companion through countless snowstorms and frozen walks. It wasn't just clothing, it was survival gear and a trusted friend rolled into one. Modern cars start reliably in cold weather. But cars from the Golden Age? Those were temperamental beasts when temperatures dropped below freezing. Engines would refuse to turn over. Batteries would die overnight. Oil thickened into sludge. Even if you did everything right, there was still a solid chance your car simply wouldn't start on a brutally cold morning. So what did people do? They walked. Miles and miles through snow and ice to get to work, to get to the store, to get anywhere they needed to be. This wasn't optional exercise, this was necessity. Workers would leave home an hour earlier just to walk to the factory. Women would bundle up and trek to the market carrying empty bags, then walk back carrying full ones. People developed specific routes with the least wind exposure, or the most cleared sidewalks. The funny part is, nobody complained much. It was just understood. Cars are unreliable in winter. Walking is part of life. You wore your warmest clothes, your sturdiest boots, and you put one foot in front of the other. This created a culture of resilience. People were tougher because they had to be. You didn't call in because it was snowing. You just left earlier. Today, if our car doesn't start, we call roadside assistance. Back then, your 2 feet were the most reliable transportation you had. School cancellations? Those barely existed in the Golden Age. Unless the snow was truly catastrophic, multiple feet with zero visibility, school was open, and you were expected to be there. Kids would wake up, look out the window at the blizzard raging outside, and know exactly what was coming. Mom would bundle them in layers: undershirt, regular shirt, sweater, coat, 2 pairs of socks, boots that weighed 5 pounds each, scarves wrapped so tight you could barely breathe. Then came the walk. Sometimes a few blocks, sometimes a couple of miles. Kids trudged through unplowed streets, snow up to their knees, wind biting their faces, metal lunchbox growing heavier with each step. And here's the kicker: teachers expected you on time. Being late because of snow wasn't really an excuse. You should have left earlier. Modern kids hear these stories and can't believe it. Today, schools close if there's a chance of snow. Back then, you went unless it was physically impossible. Those cold walks to school, miserable as they were, became stories you'd tell for the rest of your life. Let's end with one that sounds dangerous by today's standards. On especially brutal winter nights, families would heat their kitchen by turning on the gas oven and leaving the door wide open. Homes were drafty, so ventilation wasn't really an issue. And when you're genuinely freezing and have no other heat source, you do what you have to do. The kitchen would become the warm zone. Families would gather around that open oven like it was a campfire. Kids did homework at the kitchen table, adults would sit nearby with coffee, enjoying the only warm spot in the house. It created this cozy, intimate atmosphere. The whole family crammed into one room. Everyone huddled near the same heat source, talking and being together because there was literally nowhere else to go. Was it the safest practice? Definitely not by modern standards. But it worked. And for families struggling through cold winters with limited resources, that open oven door was often the difference between being miserably cold and being comfortable enough to function. 7 habits that seem absolutely crazy today but were just normal life back in the Golden Age. Hot bricks in beds, ice cleats on shoes, 1 heated room, decade-old coats, walking when cars failed, school without cancellations, ovens as heaters. Here's what these habits tell us. People were resourceful. They adapted. They made do with what they had. Winter didn't stop life. It just made life harder, and people rose to meet that challenge. Would we want to go back to those days? Probably not. Central heating is amazing. Reliable cars are a blessing. But there's something admirable about that generation's toughness, their creativity, their ability to not just survive but thrive through brutal winters with limited resources. So next time you're adjusting your smart thermostat from your phone, take a second to appreciate how far we've come. And maybe remember that hot brick your grandparents used, because that brick represented something important: the human ability to find warmth, even in the coldest times.